Hey guys, it's Quentin. This is the Christian Millennial, and today we're going to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show. So this year, my wife and I had a Super Bowl party for the youth group kids at our church, and we thought it would be a good idea to have everybody here and watching and having a good time. And we were watching the game, and then we kept seeing the commercials for the halftime show, thinking, oh, it's Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. It's probably gonna be pretty bad. Maybe we shouldn't even watch it, but we decided we'd give it a try and see how it went. And so it starts, and we're immediately thinking, oh, maybe we should turn away because of what they were wearing, but we figured we'd let it go, see what happens. And then Shakira brought out a rope and started doing something with the rope. So we went over to YouTube for a bit and started watching some other videos to try to distract from what we just saw on the TV. And we came back after about 10 or so minutes thinking it's gotta be over by now, it's gotta be done. And we saw some little girls on stage singing, and turns out one of them was actually Jennifer Lopez's daughter. And we were thinking, surely they have children on the stage. Surely there's some standard of decency, and now that they have kids on the stage, they can't be acting that way anymore. That was not true, because immediately Jennifer Lopez and Shakira basically started twerking in front of the camera, and all of our youth group kids started freaking out, and so we left and went right back to YouTube. So now that that is over, now that that's all said and done, what exactly happened at the halftime show? What was so bad about what we saw? Well, first of all, the clothing they were wearing was very revealing. I certainly wouldn't want my wife dressed like that. I wouldn't want my daughters, when they grow up, to dress like that under any circumstances. They were on a platform surrounded by a bunch of other people dressed very similarly to them, and they were on camera in front of hundreds and hundreds of millions of Americans who tuned in to watch the Super Bowl, and they were just dancing very explicitly, very purely sexually. A lot of people are trying to say this is a cultural show, but what we saw was it was just sexual dancing. It was something you'd probably see at something like a strip club. I mean, at one point Jennifer Lopez starts pole dancing, apparently, and I'm supposed to believe that's just a cultural thing. That's a strip club thing. After the show, Shakira thanked Jennifer Lopez for helping her demonstrate and show the world what Latinos have to offer. But really what we saw was just a bunch of sexualized dancing. It was just a bunch of women showing off their bodies, and the message there seems that the only thing that women have, that Latinos have to offer, are their bodies. I feel like that's kind of just degrading to a whole group of people. A lot of people are saying that if you have a problem with the halftime show, it's because you're a racist, because it was Latino culture, and if you have a problem with what you saw, it's because you have a problem with Latino culture. Or it's because you're a sexist and you have a problem with women being empowered. No, I have a problem with the fact that there were half-naked women dancing on stage, basically worshiping sex. It was all about sex. It wasn't about culture. It was about being a sexual person. And really, they were just abusing God's image. They were abusing God's design for what sex is supposed to be. It was very dishonoring to God, and frankly, it was very unloving of everyone who was watching. And honestly, what's the difference between what happened on stage at the Super Bowl and the ancient pagan sexual worship that would happen in Roman temples and in Roman culture? There were people going to the temple, doing some kind of religious ritual or religious ceremony where they would have sex parties in order to worship their gods. Now we have millions of Americans tuning in to watch the biggest game of the year, which has basically become a religious event in and of itself, because everybody's watching it, and we're applauding these women who are dancing very, very sexually on stage. And the whole purpose of that is to worship the gods of self and quote-unquote female empowerment. That was not empowerment, that was women objectifying themselves. That was them basically saying that all women have to offer are their bodies. That just reduces them down to sexual beings and not really what a human being is supposed to be. It was reducing their worth to only their bodies and what they could offer men, and that's not the message of the Bible, certainly, and that's not what American culture should be about. So now, to give some of her opinion, I brought my wife Whitney on, and she's gonna tell us what she thinks. All right, babe, so what did you think about the show? What were your thoughts?
I thought it was too much. I mean, I expected it. I feel like a lot of people are saying like, oh, well, you should have expected this, like, as Christians, like, why are you complaining? And it's like, well, I did, but I had hope it would be better.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I did figure it would end up where it ended up. But yeah, I did expect it. Look at those Super Bowls in the past. I mean,
yeah.
I didn't watch last year, but last year everyone was making memes about how Adam Levine was taking his shirt off.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, why?
Yeah, yeah. So how did it make you feel as far as female empowerment? How did it make you feel about that?
I mean, it was uncomfortable. Like, when Shakira brought out the rope, that was the part where we first turned it off.
Yeah,
and that was just uncomfortable. I was like, I think Shakira is very talented, but I don't think that was showcasing any talent. Like, she can dance,
yeah.
but again, I didn't really feel like that was even dancing. It was just sexual. And same with JLo. Like, we turned it off before it got to the pole dancing, but you know, I've seen clips since then, and it was just like so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, all the guys like swarming her. It felt like rapey and like very like primal and not civilized. Like, it's a bunch of guys like tackling each other to get to her, and it was just like uncomfortable, especially with, you know, it's a known fact that the Super Bowl is like a hotbed for sex trafficking.
Right, that's true.
And the NFL keeps saying they're doing things to fight it, and then they put that show on. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You don't care.
That doesn't help at all when you're advocating, when you're promoting this treatment, this view of what a woman is.
Yeah, and especially in Miami too.
Yeah.
Miami is also a hotbed for sex trafficking.
One of the biggest ones in the world. Yeah.
So it was very uncomfortable. Like, I think JLo has, like, I'm not a huge fan of her personally, but
you don't say.
I don't think she's untalented as a singer.
But as an actress?
I don't like her as an actress. No. But anyway, I mean, it was very uncomfortable, and people saying, oh, this is just cultural. It's what Latino women have to offer. I feel like that's so offensive to say. Like, yeah, it's basically like saying, like, you can be talented, but you also need to do this if you want to get noticed.
Right. That the thing that matters most is how you look and how you dance and what you can do for a man, basically.
And like, I was saying this earlier, like, everyone's talking about, oh, like, it's all about what women have to offer, and it was a great opportunity for women. But most of what I hear people talking about is like, they're masking it under, oh, they're talented dancers.
Yeah. But
the other main thing I hear people talking about is, oh my gosh, they look so good for their age. And it's like, I mean, yeah, they look great. You know, they're obviously very talented, like, athletically, like, they're in shape and they look good, but it's like saying we can only listen to what they have to say if they look like that at that age. Right.
Their appearance is what gives them, and their opinions, value, pretty much.
Yeah.
What would you say if I told you that... What would you say if I told you that Jennifer Lopez is actually older than Ted Cruz?
Oh my gosh. I mean, to be fair, there is no pressure on Ted Cruz to get plastic surgery.
That's true. I mean, he looks like Kevin from The Office. There's not much he can do there.
Yeah.
What would you do if I told you that she was only 7 years younger than James White? Yeah.
I don't like these facts.
Yeah, that's pretty astonishing.
I think overall the reaction is justified. Like, people are saying it's a double standard. Like, no one talked about Bruno Mars this way. No one talked about Adam Levine this way. But everyone was kind of not upset at Adam Levine, but just kind of like, ugh, why? Why did you do this? Like, we get it, you have tattoos, like we don't, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
I think the reaction is justified. Like, I know a lot of people were saying, like, I was sitting on the couch next to my 5-year-old, that's not okay. And I mean, the Super Bowl halftime show, as long as I remember, has never really been family friendly.
Right, but it is coming on at kind of prime time. It's supposed to be
a family event.
Yeah, it's a family event. It's supposed to be kid friendly. It's supposed to be family friendly. And then, you know, for however long it was, it's just women stripping pretty much. And that's not at all appropriate for children. No. That's not appropriate for men. That's not appropriate for women. That's in all of those situations, it damages women and men and children. It teaches them something. Everything is theological. Everything is teaching us something about God. And their dancing was teaching them that this is what God made us for. This is where we get our value from as women. And for men, it teaches them that this is where what we need to look for in a woman. This is what a true woman is supposed to be. And same thing for kids. They think this is what they need to grow up for, grow up to be.
Yeah, so I think that is justified, but of course some people take it too far, like the guy that's suing the NFL, like and making everyone that's upset about it look bad.
Yeah,
like,
so tell me about some guy is apparently suing the NFL because now he's not going to get to go to heaven because he lusted after JLo and Shakira.
His words were, "We need to sit in a courtroom and figure out who's responsible for me not getting into the kingdom of heaven." It's like, you don't have any understanding of anything.
Yeah, that would be your own fault. Yeah, they tempted you, but
you can change the channel. Like, that's what we did.
Yeah, you were the one that sinned. No one can make you sin. That's not how this works.
And of course, his craziness just makes, that's what everyone who's upset thinks. Like, no.
They'll think that the Christian response is, you made me sin, now you have to pay for it. That's not the Christian response. That's the weirdo response.
There's righteous anger.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't angry about it. I don't like it, but I wasn't angry. But there's righteous anger, and then there's...
We were more just disappointed.
Yeah.
We were more just saddened, and it's sad to see that this is the way our culture's gone. And we talked about in the last video Game of Thrones, and that's become such a cultural phenomenon, an icon that our culture is being more and more sexualized. And if we look back in history, we see when that happens, the nation starts to collapse. We look at Rome, which was around for 1,000 years. It was the empire. It was the world superpower, like America is now. And then they started to really nosedive into their sexual sin, and now Rome doesn't exist anymore. So, in a way, I mean, there's...
The empire doesn't
exist. The empire doesn't exist anymore. Right.
Rome's
Rome's here, but the empire doesn't exist anymore. The Roman Empire was defeated. It fell under the weight of its own sin.
And we talked about when, like, the family disappears, the empires fall too, and it was just... I feel like the halftime show would have been a nice moment when JLo's daughter Emmy was singing. Like, that would have been such a nice, like, family moment if it wasn't, like, bookended with pole dancing and twerking.
And the fact that her mother was hardly wearing anything.
Yeah. And I know Mark Anthony, like, tweeted, like, "I'm so proud of you, Emmy. Like, I'm so proud of my daughter." And it's like, I feel like that was so overshadowed, by everything else.
Right.
And it was just weird, like, it was uncomfortable, like, to have that followed by, like, all the guys, like, fighting to get to her mom.
Right. Yeah, that was...
pole.
Yeah, I don't know how that's a culture thing. That's purely sexual.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for your view and your input, giving us a woman's perspective. Appreciate you coming on and helping me out. I look forward to having you on again very regularly.
I'm always here.
All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed having my wife on. I know I did. She was a big help. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.